We're here with Craig Case, head volleyball coach at Texas A&M-Commerce, as the Lions prepare for a long road trip this weekend. Coach, it isn't always pretty, but your team keeps finding a way to win. A true grinded-out affair yesterday against Cameron. You escaped with a 3-2 win. Talk about the way your team has been able to hang on against a team who played probably its best match of the season yesterday.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Cameron. I watched about 7 or 8 matches of Cameron playing volleyball, and that's the best they played all year, and it was fun. It's fun. It's fun to play and somebody when they're playing their best. They got a good team, they got good players, and that was a fun competitive volleyball match. And this time of the year, that's kind of what you expect. And that was the theme that we kept talking about during the matches. This shouldn't be surprising us. This is what we expected of them. They're going to come out. They're going to fight. They're going to try to win this match. They want to win it as much as we do. So it's a matter of going out and trying to gain some advantages. And I thought our team did a really good job when we weren't playing good of staying competitive and still fighting, so that Cameron didn't get a ton of momentum during that match. And so that was the big key last night, was to stay competitive and to stay focused on what we were trying to do. And then, in the end, that ultimately carried us to victory. But that was a hard fought match, and I didn't expect anything less. But it's good to win those matches at this time of the year.
And your team has a strong resolve. You've won 5 matches in a row when you go to the fifth set. Talk about your team's ability to lock in that fifth set when it matters the most.
Well, it's probably I'm too tired to be yelling at him anymore. So maybe I get out of the way and they start playing good. Now, I think I think it's about discipline, and I think it's about focus at the end. And I don't think we're doing anything different or talking about anything different than anybody else is. It's just a couple of those we've gotten lucky, and a couple of those we've been really good. And so I just think staying focused and giving yourself an opportunity is usually a pretty good recipe in those fifth sets, because there's not a lot of margin of error in those situations. And I think we've come out and we've played real well, and I think 3 or 4 of them have been at home, and only one of them's been on the road. So we've also been lucky that we've been at home with our crowd behind us, as opposed to being on the road trying to grind one out on the road.
And the regional rankings just came out for the first time this season. You guys are ranked 7th in the highly competitive South Central region. Talk about what your thoughts are on your team's ranking.
Well, I figured that's where we were going to be. I thought we'd be 6th, 7th, or 8th. Based on we didn't play as well as we probably needed to before conference started, and we left some opportunities on the floor against some good teams. And had we picked up a couple of those wins, I think we could have climbed, maybe as high as 4. But we didn't, and we're fighting our way back through that. And I think we're at a good spot in terms of we know where we stand, but we also know that we're not as high as we want to be. If we want to make the NCAA tournament, we can't hang on to that 7th or 8th place spot. That's what we did last year. We were hoping we were going to make it at the end of the year, rather than going out and just continuing trying to climb. And so it's good to see that. It's good to get that ranking and kind of validate and give you a little bit of hop in your step. But at the end of the day, we've still got 4 conference matches that we got to go out and win. Those the regional rankings don't mean anything if we just cash in the rest of the season and don't put forth the effort that we need to have in order to be a championship level volleyball team.
All right, and you guys face perhaps your toughest road trip of the season next. You head to Silver City, New Mexico, face Western New Mexico on Friday. You then travel all the way across the state to Portales to face Eastern New Mexico on Saturday. Everyone in the conference has to do this trip, but it's still a difficult one. Talk about what your team needs to do to overcome the travel aspect and come out with some wins on the road.
Well, it's just hard. It's hard to be on a bus that much and ride between these 2 schools. And what makes it even more difficult is they're both really good volleyball teams. And so they're good at home just because they're good at home. They're not good at home just because it's a tough road trip. So, we know that we're already going in to play good volleyball teams. And then on top of that, we're going to have some difficult travel. So, the goal for us as coaches is to plan a trip as efficiently as we can and make sure that we're traveling well, and we're still in a position to go out and win these matches. And so hopefully, we made some adjustments from last year, and we kind of know, after that trip last year, we kind of know how it's done now and what we've got to do in order to be successful. So, hopefully this time around we're able to be a little bit more competitive over in those gyms than we were last year. But at the end of the day, we got to get to the gym by time to start that match, and then we got to play ball, and we got to try to play the best volleyball we can, regardless of what happened on the way to that match or what happened the day before. We just got to go out and we got to try to win volleyball matches out in New Mexico.
All right, our thanks to Coach Case for joining us today. The Lions head out on the road this weekend. They face Western New Mexico on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. They then face Eastern New Mexico on Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. You can follow the live stats and video links on lionathletics.com and find live updates on Twitter. I'm Marcus Jensen for Lion Athletics.